we have gotten to see a ton of NBA in-season tournament games so far. Like, we've seen all the buzzer beaters, the beat downs, the ugliest courts you have ever seen in your life. I mean, we've been through it all. And I've kind of come to the conclusion that I myself love the NBA Cup or NBA in-season tournament, whatever you want to call it. Although I thought that the semifinals and the entire Vegas part of this is really underwhelming. I think that Adam Silver and the NBA did something that was really high risk, right? Changing the entire dynamic of the NBA regular season, but they did it in such an amazing way that it didn't really change much, right? At the beginning of the season, you had people say, oh, I can't believe that they're adding more games and it's going to be this tournament. No one's going to care about it. And that is just so wrong, right? They only added one game to the season, and that one game is going to be really hyped up and everyone's going to really want to perform good in that. And that's something that I'll really get into in a minute, especially with LeBron. Like, we'll talk about that. Like, the environment for these games were insane. You had everyone talking about how it felt like they're in the playoffs when it goes down to these games that really decide if you go to Vegas or not. But in reality, if you look at these games at face value, this is just a normal game on a Monday night. Like, there is nothing crazy happening here besides the fact that it has a different label on it. That's what's so cool. And the way I really determined to myself on whether or not I think that this tournament is good for the league is by thinking, if the NBA were to take this away right now, if next season they were to say, hey, you know what, this didn't really work out, we're not going to do it anymore, would I be disappointed, right? If they took it away, would I be disappointed? Yes. I actually don't think I could handle another NBA season without this tournament. I believe that this is actually the best thing they have added in the NBA, and maybe overall when it comes to things like the play-in and stuff. I would rather have this than the play-in tournament. Now, maybe that's just because it's brand new and there's still novelty to it. Maybe in 5 years, 10 years, no one's going to care about this tournament. I don't think that'll happen because I believe that they'll keep on increasing the prize pool and more people will care about it. You never know. But for this tournament so far, I've only really been talking about the brackets, right? Earlier on in the season, the quarterfinals, the group stages, stuff like that. But we haven't been able to talk about these semifinals, which is actually the biggest part of this tournament, right? The semifinals and actual finals itself, because it's in Las Vegas, baby. Sin City, right? Entertainment capital. This shit was ass. And this is really where my thought process of the tournament being underwhelming kicks in, because the NBA has huge plans to make a team in Vegas, right? They want to have a franchise there. They want to have it be owned by LeBron James. Sounds cool. Sounds cool. It makes sense that if they want to bring a franchise there, they would use this as the hub, right? For the start of this brand new in-season tournament where there's a ton of hype around it. You want to start it there so you could see the reception from fans, who goes, how does it look, just normal stuff like that. And the truth is, it's been terrible. The crowds were dead, and for a tournament that is really hyped up, and we've seen games where the crowd gets hyped, it was really sucky to see that the semifinals, which is so important to the tournament, didn't even have any hype around it. And I understand that a lot of the fans that are here at this game come from other teams, right? You maybe have Chicago Bulls fans there who don't really care about the game happening. They just want to be there because they live in Vegas and they want to watch an NBA game. I understand that, okay? And that also brings me to my other problem with them actually putting a franchise in Vegas, with that being, no one's going to actually care about the Vegas franchise itself. Now, I'm not going to turn this into a video talking about how Vegas shouldn't have an expansion team, because I already made a video about that if you want to go check that one out. But I will say my biggest problem with them putting a franchise in Vegas is that a lot of people will just plan a Vegas trip around their team playing, right? You see in the NFL with the Raiders, a lot of people that go to Raiders games are only there because they're playing against the Chiefs, they're playing against the Chargers. I don't know who's good in football right now. Leading you with about zero real home fans, and if anyone is a home fan of the Raiders, they are just from Oakland. But anyways, moving on from the crowd aspect itself and the fact that it was in Vegas, the other atmosphere, that being the game environment, was insanely good. Well, I guess the only really good game was between the Pacers and Bucks, and Tyrese was playing like a generational point guard, which really isn't surprising anymore. Like, this man shoots from so fucking far away with the ugliest jumper and it goes in. I don't understand. Tyrese, what the fuck? Miles Turner was also a huge piece of this Pacers win. I feel like no one's gonna really talk about him because everyone obviously wants to talk about Tyrese Halliburton and the great point guard, and he's so good now. I understand that, but Miles Turner was crucial in this game. Without him, there would be no Pacers talk. There would be no Tyrese Halliburton talk in this game. On the Bucks side of things, Damian Lillard was looking a bit rough. We've seen his inconsistencies this year, and it's been pretty bad. There was a moment in the second or third quarter, I can't really remember, where Dame did go on a run, and you're kind of getting hyped up thinking, wow, we have ourselves a game. Maybe it's Dame time out here. And he just went straight back to being ass, which also just made this Tyrese celebration way funnier. So it's all confirmed that we'll be seeing the Pacers in the finals, but how are things going over in the West? I feel like this game has to be pretty close. Oh my fucking God. 44 points? They lost by 44 points? The fact that this Pelicans team is the team that beat my Sacramento Kings makes me sick to my fucking stomach. They didn't even even try. They didn't even try this game. Zion and Brandon Ingram around here laughing, talking about how they're going to spend the money. Bitch, you have to play the game first. In all seriousness, this LeBron James game was crazy to watch. Yes, it was LeBron James's game, no one else. He wants to win this tournament so bad, which makes it really cool because you know that rubs off on other players, not only his Lakers teammates, but just the other players in the league. When they see LeBron James playing this hard for an in-season tournament trophy that before the beginning of the season no one cared about, it's motivating. You want to win, you want to beat him, which comes down to the final question, which I'm sure you guys are all thinking. KingCharge, who do you think is going to win this tournament? I want to know so bad. My answer is the Pacers. Not only do I think that the Pacers have the drive to win this tournament, right? The fact that they're all basically the brokest motherfuckers in the league, like that is kind of a stat that they were pushing during the game, which sounds crazy, but that's really what it was. I mean, they were obviously saying like the least payroll or whatever to just call them broke. With how good their offense is and how young this team is, I feel like they can just absolutely outrun the Lakers. Not to mention, I feel like their ability to come back from being down is huge, right? You're down by 10, Buddy Hield can erase it like that. Granted, you have to hope that Buddy Hield plays good, which might be a little rare. I think it'll be fun to see LeBron go all out again. I mean, there is so much about this tournament that has been so much fun. I'm also excited to see if the crowd is actually excited for this. I feel like the Lakers being in should give it a high chance of there being like an interactive crowd and people actually excited to watch this game. But goddamn, could you just imagine if this was being held in Seattle? Like, even though it's a total third-party city where no one has a team, it would be so fucking loud there, man. So loud. With that being said, I'd love to hear how you guys think this final game of the in-season tournament will play out. Who do you think is going to win? What do you think is going to go down? Let me know in the comments below. And since you're down there, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. And if you do want to see more videos, I have one sitting right here on the screen for you, okay? Just go check it out. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Later.